Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 1, 2, 3 count over here at the Critics Collective. And today we're gonna be talking about probably right now one of most significant figures not only in wrestling but in media of all, Hulk Hogan, and of course, very controversial what's going on with him or his past because he recently passed away. I'm not gonna just past it that a lot of us who grew up in the 80s, 90s, 70s grew up with Hulk Hogan, and we were a big fan of this guy. From this guy who was like I would say this great figure in life. In his song coming in. We didn't know what was going on in the background, for especially with us growing up as kids, not really knowing what was going on with as far as Terry or Hulk Hogan. So growing up, and I'm gonna say it again, growing up watching Hulk Hogan, I was a big fan, and him coming now, always saving the day. Even as a kid, I used to remember watching his cartoon show Hulk Hogan in wrestling. So a lot of the media when it came to Hulk Hogan, I consumed a lot of it. From him appearing one of my favorite like series of all time, Rocky, where he played a wrestler, to him appearing one of my favorite movies, The Three Ninjas, when I was a kid. And so on. You had Three Ninjas, you had Secret Agent Club, you had Mr. Nanny, you had well another one, No Holds Bar. So he was everywhere, and I remember I didn't even include in there Suburban Commando, where he played. I remember was it Alien? He came out of space, and he was like he was there everywhere. You could you see you watch you saw Hulk Hogan. So there's no denying that a lot of us grew up idolizing this this guy, and even I would say even when it came to TV show where he had the TV show with his family, his kids, where we got to learn more about what was going on with his daily life and his kids. So we were consuming a lot of Hulk Hogan before the controversy, and we were all big fan. And again, he was this person, and I would say every weekends or Mondays, Fridays, you watch wrestling, you jump in to see Hulk Hogan save the day. Not and we truly believed that he was what he portrayed, but then the controversy started coming out, with the sex tape, the comments he made about of course, his daughter dating a black guy. But not just the racist stuff that came out, but you found out that he wasn't overall a good person. Put everything to aside from his political view to racism. He was a shit person. Hulk Hogan was a shit person, and growing up, finding out we can't deny. Even Cody Rhodes came, which I'm not gonna commend him for doing it because I don't agree. Well, you can't deny that Hulk Hogan played a significant role when it came to WWE or WWF back in the day when we were growing up, because he did. But at certain point, I know I always hear separate the art from the artist, but Hulk Hogan wouldn't be where he is if he wasn't for certain people, if he didn't step on people's neck. Even his whole persona moniker, he stole that from Billy Graham, who should be recognized as the original Hulk Hogan. He copied that from Billy Graham. And later on, when his popularity, when we had to get into the 90s and stuff, 90s era and 80s, where people were like his persona, drink your milk, kids go to sleep, was dying off. and he joined the NWO. Initially, he didn't want to do that, from my understanding. And not till later he saw that popular, he joined it, but wanted to, and he joined it. But initially, he didn't want to be part of the NWO. So then you go to Jesse Ventura, where he was trying to get equal pay for wrestlers, better quality benefits. Where he tells this guy who he thought was his friend, was his confidant partner, and trying to do something better for his fellow co-workers. And Hulk Hogan goes and stitch on him, and basically union bus. When Jesse Ventura was trying to start a union, he goes in union bus, which was ridiculous. And you go in the whole controversy with the steroids and all that. There's so much to go into that as far as how Hulk Hogan was as a person. But to do something like that with somebody confident and there's struggles, and when it comes to pay and when doing the industry at the time, and you go in union bus. Then I remember the whole story with Undertaker, where he faked the injury and he basically pretended that Undertaker broke his neck. Even in the picture you guys see over here, his head never touched the mat. But Hulk again took it to a whole level, acted like his neck was broken because of an Undertaker. So this guy was not only conniving, but also fucking liar. And we jump back to the 2000, and I keep bringing all this up, but we jump back to the later year where you have his daughter Brooke, who I guess somehow TMZ was able to get the recording where he's basically saying that he don't want his daughter to date nigga, this, that, he'd rather her date a 8-foot Nick with $100 million. So there you go. He put his prejudice out there. I know he put out an apology, but the only reason he put out an apology was because he was caught. You can't say, oh, he put out an apology, we should accept it and move on. The only reason he did it was because he was caught and it was affecting his pocket. That's the only reason Hulk Hogan put out that apology, and I'm going to 10 toes on that. That's the only reason, because he got caught, and that's the only reason he put out that apology. All right? Because, again, Hulk Hogan was a union buster. He was a liar. He was a cheat to his friend. He even went and slept with his best friend's wife. How you going to do something like that? You sleep with your best friend's wife. And, again, the only reason he got out is because he got caught. The only reason he apologized was he got caught. There was a tape, and he got caught. And so on. We jump into the whole lawsuit with TMZ and, and all that. But another thing this man did was when his son got in a car accident. You guys can see the wreck here with his best friend in the car. You know what Hulk Hogan did? He blamed his son's best friend, who ended up being paralyzed. To this day, live his whole life paralyzed because this mistake. But he said he was into some bad stuff, and that's why it just happened to him. They had a whole rant about how he's gonna be reincarnated. He's gonna be reincarnated as black people because the guy, that's the way God's gonna punish him. It was like this guy was a blatant racist and a fucking asshole. Again, I'm not gonna state the fact that he did not play a significant role to what WWE, him and Vince McMahon work together to do with WWE, what it is today. But I'm not gonna put aside all the other people that weren't there that he stepped over to make it what it is, because he did. But WWE wouldn't be what it is just with Hulk Hogan. You have Macho Man, you have the Rhodes, You have the Hart. You have Stone Cold Steve Austin. You have so many other wrestlers. Yes, Hulk Hogan stood out there, you know, but you have to recognize there's other people. But this right now. This is about Hulk Hogan. Passed away. I know it's not looked right to talk ill of the dead, but to know someone that a lot of us grew up with that we looked up to as a hero was not only a bigot, but was the worst type of person out there. And he would go out there and pretend to be this good person, but in the background he was doing these foul shit, you know. And you don't have to believe me. The articles are out there. The comments he made are out there. There's recording of him. I know there was an incident where he saved somebody from a car accident. Yes, that. But don't take away from the shit he did. And from just alone his comment, us normal minorities, he would not look at if we don't have. Yeah, I see a lot of black celebrity go online and say good things about him, but the only reason he recognized these people is they're in a different tax bracket. You got to think about that too. The only reason he's nice to these people is that because they're in the tax bracket that are equal or higher to him. But any other nigga below that, he didn't give a damn about. I'm gonna tell you that. And that's a racist. That's a bigot. Hulk Hogan's not gonna make it to heaven if there's a heaven out there. Like the Sheik said, the Iron Sheik, for Hogan today, fuck him tomorrow, fuck him every day. Yes, I grew up idolizing him. I was a big Hulk Hogan fan. And I used to watch every time I watched wrestling, I was always rooting for Hulk Hogan. But at some point growing up, you realize that your heroes are not what they portray to be in real life. It was just a persona. And he had more and more controversies that came out, even when he was promoting his beer with this one cocktail waitress that he lied to and told her she didn't have to come in, but find out he just didn't want a black girl to promote his beer. So Hulk Hogan, I can't say, I'm not going to say thank you for what you did for wrestling because you trampled on a lot of people. I'm not going to say rest in peace because you don't deserve peace, because especially with this kid who your son paralyzed because of his mistake and people who suffered because of your decision, you don't deserve peace. I might sound harsh, but he don't. But hopefully on your last dying breath, you made reconciliation of how you were as a person or made peace with whatever wrong you did. Yes, he did have an impact in wrestling and media, but it doesn't change the fact that he was a shit person. Guys, thank you again for joining us at the 1, 2, 3 count. If you're a Hulk Hogan fan, if you feel different about what I've said or how I feel, you're more than welcome to leave a comment down below. Let us know how you feel, what you think. Do we still keep him at that pedestal, even though he played a significant part in wrestling? Because a lot of us are a big wrestling fan. Or do we hold him accountable not only for his action, but for his deeds and his comments? Let us know how you feel. Leave a comment down below. And again, thank you again for joining us over here at the Critics Collective. Peace.